Hey, what is up? I'm Crunk Chocolate, and I'm here with my show bro, Sharpie Charlie. How's it going? Let's do a little quick 1-2. How you doing? How you feeling? I see you're muted. Oh, you're muted.
I am muted. It's a great Friday night. Excited to be here.
That's cool.
First time on Breaking Bread in a while, so I couldn't think of a better reason to come. I was like, Crumb, what time y'all doing it tomorrow? I'm there.
Hey, we out here. Okay. So, first things first, there's no more Twitter. So, hi to everybody on Instagram, hi to everybody on Twitch, hello to everybody on YouTube. I don't know what you do on Instagram if you're watching. So enjoy, I guess, comment.
The
Yes.
heart, you like it, I guess.
Right? Yeah, do those
Right,
things. Twitch, you know what to do. Comments, join in. Hello, YouTube. Please like, thumbs up. All the people who are listening on the audio podcast form, please hit 5 stars, rate and review, and leave a review on the podcast. Say some nice things. But we are here. Whoo! We got a doozy of a match tomorrow. International break. So attention is all on our baby blue baddies. Top of the league, who have to face number 2 in the league, who for the last forever has been number 1 in the league. Chelsea. And to help us out, we got a great friend here. Friend of the show, part of Shady Gang, part of SOB Network. Shout out to the 12. We got Nicholls. I always struggle saying that.
I'm good, man. Good. Appreciate you having me on. It's always good, come kicking it with y'all. And I mean, like, what better reason to come kick it, right?
Yeah, man. It's scary things. Yeah.
I do want to say something real quick before we get into it.
Please.
You said, okay, we are technically number 1 in the league.
Don't do this.
But Chelsea's undefeated. They are 6-0. They've played one less match. The goal differential is 23-3. I'm just saying, man, like, yeah, we're number 1 in the league, though. We're top of the table. For now.
It's not a good start.
I just said facts. I don't know why these facts are not a good start. I'm sorry.
You know exactly why these facts are not a good start. Do not play silly.
I just said numbers that I read off the screen of my phone. I don't know how that's a bad thing.
You knew exactly what that was, especially to me. You knew exactly what that was going to do.
Let me hear these damn facts. Get these facts out of here.
He said for now.
Shit out of here.
He said City's number 1 for now. Like, maybe in 24 hours it's different.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm so nervous.
I am too, but you don't need to be coming in here like raining on my parade with.
I'm sorry, Crunk. I'm sorry. See, this is why I don't need to come around. I won't come back. I'm done after this. All my fears come out.
I like it. Just let him talk a little bit about Chelsea.
Okay, there we go. He can get into the details of how these numbers happen. There we go. That's what he can do. He can tell me why do these numbers exist.
Especially because once we get to the roster, that's when I'm going to start freaking out.
Yep. That's the one. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. I want to start here, though. What is it about Chelsea, the club, that you love? It can be something small, big. I know there's plenty of things you probably love about the club, but what is something about Chelsea that you love?
Well, I'll focus specifically on the women, and I think it's the backing that they've had. You know what I mean? And a lot of that has to do with Emma Hayes. I think, she's technically no longer part of the club, but Emma Hayes will always be a Chelsea legend, right? And, just her... Well, I think she's one of the most brilliant coaches in the world. Like, I think the U.S. women's national team are very lucky to have her. And, but just like listening to her talk about the game and then her drive specifically to bring women's football up to standard. A lot of the growth that Chelsea has seen, not only on the field, but off the field the last few years has to do with Emma Hayes. And I think, look, there's a lot of clubs out here who just don't invest in the game the way good. So thankfully, Chelsea and I would say City too are two clubs that do.
Yeah, most definitely. It's nice watching this. I don't want to say it's a turn, but at the beginning of our when we started, we had mass exodus in back-to-back seasons, and it seemed like the players were leaving because of the manager, and the team stuck down to the manager, and we are now seeing a whole new influx of people who very much love the manager. So I mean, it's all about who you have, and if they see your vision, and if your vision, like how it plays out. Obviously, Pep says it all the time. When you're winning, everybody kind of gets quiet. They let you get away with whatever you're doing and things like that. And he's doing his thing. He's winning. So I'm appreciating it. The players are saying very positive things about him. Mm-hmm. They're even admitting that he's getting at them in the locker room when they're messing up. Mm-hmm. So, like, he's holding them accountable. But also he has said how the new staff, has the players feeling very comfortable and willing to open up and talk about things that can make the team better, which is always growth because you want the players, again, to buy in. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, not to hijack your whole thing, but it is. It's really nice to see this club grow in itself.
Is he with us though?
Oh, you're back.
Okay, there it is.
I'm here.
You said the club is growing in itself. Well, it's nice to see the club growing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, with itself, with the players, you can see the legends with the older players and the money that they're putting in to the future and the youth. It's nice and complete. We could potentially, I mean, we'll get into it with Chelsea with this next question and the transfers, who they brought in and who left. You'll rate it, but I do think City Women, they're set for the future and to potentially try to have a Chelsea-like run, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously, you know, that's a difficult standard, but you know, it starts with recruitment, you know, and I think that is especially in the women's game, that's a big tell as to, you know, how much investment, how seriously is this being taken from the hierarchy, you know, like I thought, just as an example, I thought Arsenal and Man United had kind of quiet windows, you know. You know, I just feel like when you're the team that's not at the top, there should be like a bit more drive to get there. Yeah. And so, like, I see that from City for sure. I mean, like going down, getting Miedema, for example, you know. But yeah, I mean, you know, I would agree. I think that, I mean, if you look at Chelsea's run these past 5 seasons, right, having won the last 5 titles, City's been the team that's been there been there in terms of competing most often. You know, we've seen like Man U, they had their come up, they fell away. You know, Jonas or Arsenal under Jonas in his first season, you know, they competed and then they kind of fell back. So yeah, I mean, I think in terms of the squad, but also in terms of the direction of the club overall, I think City is probably in the best position to challenge Chelsea and maybe even dethrone them.
Yeah. So let's dig in a little bit of the transfer window by Chelsea. How would you rate it in a scale from 1 being awful to 10 being perfect?
I'd probably rate it maybe 7.5. The one thing I was kind of concerned about coming into the season was the midfield, and that's partially that got hit by injury as well. Sophie Ingle was lost for the season with an ACL tear. But yeah, after you get past, I guess what you consider the incumbent starters, Nushkin and Aaron Cuthbert, I think it's a little thin. Other players have gotten their chance, gotten some minutes in that position, like Vicky Captain, Orion Jean-Francois, for example. But yeah, overall, I'd say probably about 7.5. You got some young players in. Actually, I think Captain joined the team after she was signed last year, but was loaned back to her squad. I believe it was 20 that she played for. But like they were already you already had kind of an established team, so I thought they reinforced some areas with some good young talent and Sandy Baltimore as well has made a big impact. She's surprisingly been playing a lot of left back, but overall, I think she's proven to be a valuable addition to the squad.
Nah. What about Lucy Bronze? Huh? Thought we were just gonna scoop past that. Making our own work.
Yeah, it's the Lucy Bronze transfer is interesting. I didn't expect it. At the same time, like I don't hate it per se, just because for one, she has a lot of experience in the Champions League, and I think that's probably the main reason she was brought in. But also, this is a squad where most of the players are in their prime or maybe even on the younger side. So, adding some veteran presence is never a bad thing. And, you can always find a way to get a fullback onto the field, I think. And I mean, Lucy Bronze has been kind of the first choice at right back. So, which also I guess I'm not surprised because Bonpastor's obviously worked with her in the past, but yeah, like I said, I didn't necessarily see that one coming, but it's one of those where I'm willing to let it play out.
I hope she starts tomorrow because she's gonna be food.
That'll be against him, right? If that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, yeah, rested him.
Hemp and Jess Park.
Yeah, I can't disagree, to be honest. Yeah, the fullbacks, that's probably the position I'd probably be most concerned about. Because I think back to the Arsenal match, Arsenal-Chelsea match, where Baltimore playing left back, she was able to get forward and score. But then when Arsenal were, second half in particular, when Arsenal were on top, I feel like they went after Baltimore a bit. And I mean, she did struggle. She did eventually pick up a yellow. And then on Arsenal's goal, I think it was Caitlin Ford, absolutely rinsed Lucy Bronze. So, yeah, if there's one area of the pitch I'm worried about tomorrow, it'll probably be the fullbacks.
Okay. I mean, this is a side note. Were you able to catch the match against Celtic?
I was, yeah.
Because if you look at the stats, it was kind of crazy. 72% Chelsea possession, 26 shots, 12 on target, compared to Celtics 2 shots on target, and it was 1-2, and Chelsea had a red card at the end.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound great. Yeah, if you look at the scoreline and then look at the stats, especially with the red card. What happened?
It's so Celtics scored first.
Yeah,
they caught Chelsea on the counter. Now, it should be noted that Bonpastor pretty much rotated almost her entire starting 11, and even like Baltimore played left wing instead of left back before she was subbed out at halftime. So it's Chelsea. They got the lead back before halftime, but to be honest with you, it wasn't the best performance. I thought it was a little bit disjointed. I also thought Celtic pressed bravely considering the competition they were up against. Yeah, I think more than anything else is probably just a bit of a disjointed performance. And like players can say they're they're focused on the next match, but they probably have one eye on the City match, especially when you rotate like that. I think it kind of implicitly sends a message, So yeah, it definitely wasn't the prettiest performance from Chelsea, but they got the 3 points and we move.
We do. I want to talk about your attack. I mentioned earlier we were talking about the numbers in the league right now: 23 goals scored in 6 matches. How are you all so dominant offensively? Like, if I have not watched a single Chelsea match, like I haven't, what am I missing?
So I heard a stat recently on the London is Blue podcast, Chelsea podcast, of the 22 players that have featured for Chelsea this season. 17 of them have either a goal or assist.
So it's everybody. Okay.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit of contribution from everybody. I would say the 3 best attackers have been probably who you'll see starting tomorrow: Guru Wrighton on the left, Maya Ramirez in the middle, and Johanna Reading Kanterid on the right. They have been. I don't think any one of them is necessarily killing it this season. I think Kanterid she has the most goal contributions so far this season on the team with 5. But I think what you're seeing is that Chelsea may have multiple match winners. Like certainly I think Kanterid and Ramirez have gone up a level this season. Guru Wrighton is one of the first names on the team sheet always. But then you're getting contributions from people like Sianushkin, from Cuthbert, from Michael Almano, Lauren James, who is she's out for a few weeks with a calf injury. You're getting there was a goal against Palace from Lucy Bronze. Baltimore I mentioned has scored. Millie Bright has a goal contribution as well. I think she has a couple assists. So yeah, it's kind of just spread around. And I think a lot of that has to do probably with the tactics. It's interesting watching Chelsea press, right? Because I think it depends on the opponent how aggressive they are with the press. Like a couple of weeks ago when they played Everton, I mean, they were just all over them. Like, and to be fair, Everton are probably relegation favorites at this moment. But the way they were just on top of them from minute 1 and just didn't let them out. And then you had the match versus Liverpool last week where they weren't quite as aggressive, but they were very strategic with their press. And actually the press led to a mistake in a goal for Guro. So, the center, from what I can tell, the center backs come up, they try to keep the ball in the opponent's half, a lot of counter pressing. And so I think that's allowed different players to flourish, or just to pop up and take advantage of the situation.
I'm a little worried because y'all's wingers are fast as fuck, boy. And like Wahhabi's gonna struggle. I'm a little worried about that. But I mean, Greenwood's been really great. Kennedy is probably going to start, which kind of scares me because that's like pacey people. That's her weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Is Alexandria hurt or?
I believe so.
Okay.
Believe it. I need to watch Garrett's preview and get an update. But that's why Kennedy has been making the start lately. And it's just pushed Wahhabi out wide. And in all, I'm not worried. This is a match that I do low-key want Keating. I think her distribution calms things down a little bit. And like Mark was saying with the pressing, if they plan the press well enough against Yamashita, I think they can catch her and off-footed or putting a player in a bad position, because that's happened a few times this season against lesser opponents. And with a team like Chelsea who can take advantage of that, I do worry a little bit.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious to see how Bonpastor approaches this match. You know, I was kind of making the point on the last recording of the 12 the WSL podcast. You should check
They
it
know.
They know.
out. But you know, I was so Arsenal beat Brighton 5-0. Brighton has had a good start to the season. You know, last couple of weeks kind of fell off, but you know, I felt like that was a signature win for them, and I felt like City had like their signature win versus Barcelona. I'm not sure Chelsea have really had a signature win, but the big caveat to that is I'm not. There's a handful of teams in Europe that I think can even go toe to toe with Chelsea, right? Now, I think one of those teams is Arsenal, and Chelsea did get the win, but you know, much of that match, mainly the second half, was such a struggle. You know, like they were holding on for dear life. Um, so I'm curious because you know they typically like obviously opponents tend to respect Chelsea, so you know they're ceding possession or um, you know just generally sitting back, and I think that maybe makes it a little bit easier for I guess Chelsea to you know set their attacks, you know, play kind of impose themselves on the game. I don't expect City to do that. So I'm curious to see, for example, how do Chelsea deal with City's press? You know, like
Yeah.
what kind of formation are they going to use to build out of? You know, how quickly would they move the ball? You know, like these how aggressively will Chelsea press? You know, like these are I'm actually really curious to see how Bonpastor approaches his match because I mean, obviously this is the biggest test of the season.
Okay. Let's dive in a little bit more about Sonia Bonpastor because I am still pretty new to the WOSO game. I know Sonia Bonpastor. I've heard the name. Obviously, she's a good enough manager to take over Chelsea. What are your thoughts on her? I mean, I've heard things from Tom Baum. Obviously, she's doing well enough. She's doing well enough that they're killing it. But also, for some reason, I don't know. I'm just not as scared of this team, and it could just be the Emma Hayes effect because she just also is calm, but also oddly, incredibly intimidating.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. It's funny, man. You know, I think so when Emma Hayes announced that you know she was leaving, obviously like at that point Chelsea started their search, and one of the reports that came out was that the players prefer to work with a woman, right? Like, which I've always said I completely understand that sentiment given the success that that they had under Emma Hayes versus their rivals and their you know situations, right? So fair enough, but then it also kind of narrowed the field as to who could realistically come in and manage Chelsea after Emma Hayes. So it was almost like a foregone conclusion that Bonpastor would at least get an offer. And I don't think there was widespread enthusiasm about that. You know, I think that there were question marks about, you know, how how tactically astute is she? You know, like did she just have a stacked Lyon team in a league where nobody could really challenge her? You know, that sort of thing. Where you know it was really the Champions League was the only competition in jeopardy. You know, so I mean, like I withheld judgment. I'm not going to sit here and act like I watched every Lyon match. You know, prior to Bonpastor arriving at Chelsea, but I've been impressed. You know, I like the setup. You know, I like. I feel like the players have a bit of freedom, particularly the forward line, and you know, I think she's. I appreciate the way she's using the squad. I mean, like there's just so many talented players that yeah. On the one hand, it would be easy to just pick a lineup and just go with that, right? And not ever rotate. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, type of thing. But I like that Bonpastor is being proactive about figuring out who she has for what positions, and doing it now so that when it comes, when the calendar turns over and we're on the business end of the season, she should have a lot of confidence in terms of, picking various lineups or picking players for particular situations, right? And then once hopefully we're making deep runs in every competition, but that means a lot of games, right? So you can't play the same 11 right through. So I think she's doing a good job of trying players in different positions and really maximizing the potential of the squad.
I'm with you because I haven't watched them long because I legitimately will start at the beginning of the match or whenever Chelsea goes down. And then naturally, then I'm not watching much longer because the second they draw or they get ahead, I'm like, this isn't fun because we know exactly what's about to happen now, which is more goals for Chelsea. But it's fun watching because at first I'm just like, oh, why are they? Oh, and they're okay. She's trying some stuff out, and that is kind of what a new manager should do. Don't take, obviously take the words from the previous management, what they did, and things like that. But you got to find out for yourself who these players are, how they do in positions, and in your style. So it's the squad is talented enough that if you do play some of these young players, you just got to give Myra Ramirez 25 minutes and she'll score a hat trick. So, it's just one of those things. You can try some things out, give some new players chances when you have studs like LJ when she's healthy and all these other like Cuthbert playing some scary football right now. This is a new look Chelsea. I haven't watched City women play such good football for the literal entire season, I might be a little more nervous. I'm just excited to see how they stand up against this Bomb Pastor squad.
I think I'm really interested to see which way the managers dictate the game, right? Like their tactics is going to determine if this is going to be a counter pressing situation, or if it's going to be like, hey, we just want to set up and just hit you on the counter, right? Like, so possession numbers are going to be interesting. Is it going to be like a 55-45, or is one team going to dominate the match 70-30 or 65-35? And like who that team is, I don't know. Because I think as a City supporter, like I see our midfield. When you give me Yui, Jess Park, and Jill Rourke, I'll take that against anybody in the world. We saw like this team has beaten Barcelona. And if you can beat Barcelona, you can beat anyone. And so Crump, as much as I started off nervous, the more we've talked, and it's not like Mark has swung me, it's just like, hey, you're right. Like we have a squad. Like we've done something. We have that signature win that you can always hang your hat on, that the players know we can do this against the defending, UWCL champ. So I'm really intrigued to see how your defense sets up. I know usually if it goes Bronze, Buchanan, Bright, who's your left back normally?
So right now, the first choice left back is Baltimore.
That's right, Baltimore. So like you have the pace with Baltimore on her side. She can lock down Fugino or Mary Fowler, whoever. But yeah, that Lauren Hemp thing, that's like where everybody has gotten done this year. That Lauren Hemp crossing the bunny has been unstoppable, but this will be, I think, the best center back pairing Bunny's gone against as far as size and athleticism and strength. And I want to see if Gareth wants to move Jill Ward into that second striker role, right, to take some attention off of Bunny, because she is big as shit. So you bring her into the 18 and it's just like, okay, we got two strikers now. This is great. And that's how she finishes a lot of plays. So do you think your midfield can, I don't want to say dominate, but let's say control the match versus, our midfield three?
I think that's probably, if I had to pick a matchup where I think City has the advantage, I would probably say the midfield. Chelsea set up in a 4-2-3-1. And if Bronze and Baltimore, assuming they start, which I think they will, typically Baltimore pushes up a little more. I don't know if we'll see maybe like Bronze try to help out in the midfield. I'm also curious about who is going to be the number 10, especially with, Lauren James has been out for a couple of weeks, but we've seen a couple of different players in that position. And actually, when we do our predicted 11s, I'll kind of throw in the wild card. But yeah, I mean, I think City have the advantage in the midfield. And so I guess Mark Parsons does television for, like WSL Talk for Sky. And I saw a clip where he said, tactically, he feels like City have been the most impressive team so far this season. I mean, it's hard to disagree with that. I myself have been impressed by, not just how City play, but, some of the adversity that they've come through. I think they've won some matches that maybe they would have dropped points last year. And I mean, you can't forget the last time City played at Chelsea in the league, they won. So to me, I totally agree when you say that the squad should be confident. I totally agree. I don't think City has anything to fear really about Chelsea.
Now I'm scared because all that praise now, now it flips on the other side. Whoa.
You mastermind, Mark.
He's getting me because now I'm listening to it. This is really good. Wow, they have done good things. They did win at Stanford.
What is he up to?
What's he on? He's gonna give us this predicted 11 that's gonna have this wild card that I'm just like, oh my god, he's right. This is going to dominate us. We got a 4-2 drubbing on the way. No, I will say this. I believe that goals will be scored on both sides. If I had to bet money and say a goal, each team scores, yes. The answer is yes. Do I think there's going to be above 2.5 goals? Maybe, right? A 1-1 draw would not shock me because I feel like both teams are so evenly matched and they're just, you all have people out, right? You don't have your best players available. I think City is weirdly the healthier team right now. And so we've been in a groove, but again, you all have played so well to this point, but you haven't played the competition that we have. So it's confusing, Crunk. I don't know if you think our baby blue baddies, not that they can come through, we know they can. Do you think, Crunk, they're going to win this match? Do you feel it in your soul, in your gut? What are the vibes?
We still got to talk about the starting 11.
I'm just saying, do you feel it? I know you have to give it away, but do you feel it? Are you nervous? Because I'm a nervous wreck.
I mean, I'm nervous because it's Chelsea, but again, our head-to-head history is great for us.
Positive,
yeah. Our worst enemy is us.
I love that.
We have fucked it up for us the last 2 seasons.
That is true.
So, I mean, if we just got to do what we've always done and handle business. Worst case, we draw. It's at Chelsea's home team, yeah? Yeah. So, I'll take a draw. As long as we don't get smacked, because it's not necessarily the losing badly. It's having to deal with the conversations and the media, especially after going unbeaten 11 games now. And so to then play Chelsea and get smacked, especially they'll be like, they handled Barca but can't beat Chelsea. What's going on? I don't know. I don't want to hear it.
That's fair. That's fair. I guess we'll do our match predictions at the end.
Yeah. Well, the next question I wanted to ask is, who's an attacker, midfielder, and a defender from your club who's in form?
So I'll go back to front. I would say Buchanan has a new lease on life. Working with somebody that she's worked with before. I'm sure she was excited about that appointment. And I think she has been the first choice for, especially the tougher games, certainly the league matches. She covers ground so well. She's typically the first to deal with crosses. She can even dribble out of the back a little bit. I think that Buchanan's had a fantastic start to the season. From midfield, I think Sionushkin has been phenomenal. Just being that deep line playmaker, the diagonals, and then when she gets up near the box, she's able to whip in a really good cross, in swingers and out swingers. She's shown to be really adept at recovering the ball. I think Nushkin has been one of the players of the season so far for Chelsea. And in terms of attack, so for me, it's having to pick one, right? I'll go with Canarid just because she has the most goal contributions, and you talked about fast players, right? I think Canarid is probably our fastest player.
So much pace.
Especially with the ball. I don't understand how she's that fast with the ball. It's like she's running away from people while dribbling. It's crazy. But yeah, I could see her if Chelsea are to win, I could see her putting in a performance for sure.
I also didn't peep it until you mentioned Buchanan. It's literally Khadija versus Khadija.
Ah, yeah.
Because Khadija is Khadisa. Your Buchanan and our Khadija Bunny is Khadija.
I wonder, because Buchanan is Canadian, but I wonder if she has Caribbean roots or something.
Right.
That would not shock me at all with the way migration works. Khadija versus Khadija. Question: this is random. Okay, I don't want to be disrespectful in this question. Millie Bright, I see her as a very classic center back, right? She's extremely good in the air. She can finish headers. Is her pace a weakness that Buchanan always covers up, or are you able, have you seen players be able to get by her this season? Because I know that's if she has a weakness, it's probably pace. But I know Buchanan's right beside her. So has anybody been able to exploit that?
I can't really remember a time where Bright looked beaten for pace. There was one goal that they allowed versus Real Madrid in the Champions League where it was, for lack of a better term, it was just kind of a silly goal. There was they gave the ball away, and then Bright was just slow to recover and recognize what was happening. But other than that, no, I can't really think of any times that Buchanan and Bright were caught out anyway. When we've had one of the younger center backs in, then we've seen them get caught out once or twice. But generally, Buchanan and Bright have been super solid.
Nice. Okay. Just curious. Trying to get hope for Bunny. That's all. On a Bunny goal. A Bunny goal is enough for me. If I get a Bunny goal, we're good.
Listen, Bunny scares me. I mean, I think Bunny could occupy the two center backs by herself. And, if she's able to do that, then I think that really opens things up for City. Because I mentioned it before, but I think those winger versus fullback matchups might be a problem. Hemp on one side. Fowler's been really good too. I've been really impressed with her. And if she's one-on-one with Baltimore, and let's say City can have a period of play where they're actually on the ball and keeping Chelsea pinned, they might be able to create a goal out of that. So yeah, there's me feeding hopium again.
There we go. I love it. I'll take it. I'm in. I go back and forth. But I like this after 40 minutes.
Oh man, Sharpie.
Punk's never seen me this nervous in 3 years of doing podcasts together weekly. I've never been so confused about a result.
Man, this is great.
It's too stressful. I don't like it. This
is funny. Because usually he's the calm one and I'm kind of the one who's just
It's a Freaky Friday for sure. It's a freaky ass Friday.
Calm me down. Oh, great. Okay, well let's talk starting 11. Who are you expecting to see on the pitch tomorrow for Chelsea?
Yeah, I think this lineup pretty much picks itself at this point. It's basically the lineup we saw last week at Liverpool, I think. So Hannah Hampton in goal, Lucy Bronze at right back, Millie Bright, Khadija Buchanan center backs. I expect Baltimore to start at left back. I think Nushkin and Cuthbert will start in the pivot. Now, and I expect Guru Wrighton to start on the left, Maya Ramirez in the middle, and Rain Canterwood on the right. Now, the number 10 is where I think I'm curious about. So we've seen like since Lauren James got hurt, we've seen like Micah Amano play some number 10. We've seen Kat Macario play some number 10. She had a solid cameo versus Celtic, but I don't think she's quite starter fit yet. I suspect that I'm going to predict that Vika Kaptein gets the start at the number 10. Now, Kaptein has been playing in the midfield. She actually, Cuthbert was dealing with an illness earlier in the season, and Kaptein got minutes in that central midfield position. But when I watch her, I see the instincts of an attacking midfielder. Now, I don't know if she played attacking midfield at a previous club, but she does tend to get forward. And because of that midfield matchup versus City, I feel like Bonpastor may opt for somebody who has more central midfield tendencies, you know, the ability to hold on to the ball, the ability to defend a little better. So I think Kaptein's going to start at the 10.
Good shout. Yeah. Okay. What a squad. What a squad. Crunk, who you got?
So
The use.
I forgot actually. Lauren Hemp is possible scratch.
Right.
Garrett Taylor said Lauren Hemp, Alexandria, and Lazelle could return. All three of them could play. I'm going to be honest, though. I think Lauren Hemp would rather die than miss this match. Like, I just feel like that's just who she is as just a gamer. She would have to be stretchered off the pitch if she can only do 45 minutes, she's going to do 45 minutes, but she's going to start. Yamashita in goal. Man, I would love to have Alexandria back because, like I said, if we have to move her out wide, I'm very scared about that. But also I'm worried about forcing Alexandria back, who might not be 100%, but I'm doing it anyway. So back line of going from left to right, we got Kasparaj on the right. Yes. I just know it's Casper. I just know Kermit is on the pitch, and that's all I care about. So we got Alexandria, Wahhabi, Greenwood, Kasparaj, Hasegawa, Roard, and Park. Hopefully Hemp is healthy, because if Hemp is not healthy, do you move Fowler over to the left? I mean, she's amazing and she is ambidextrous. She can play on both sides, but that does change a lot. And then that's the second question. If Hemp can't play and Fowler's moved over to the left, obviously Fujino's going to play, but is this a match you give Chloe Kelly a chance? Arby, what do you think?
Chloe who? Just saying. Hey, I will say she popped out at the MTV Europe Awards. She really popped out and showed them. So she a baddie, truly a big blue baddie. But I don't know. Here's the thing, right? I believe in playing players that are in form, and the wingers that are in form right now are Hemp, Fujino, and Fowler. Like, that's just the truth. Now, because she have shown something this week, we know her pedigree. Like, she has everything you want in a winger, and if she doesn't get a start, I'm done being like questioning Garrett or being surprised, whatever. It's just like, it's working out without her. You know, like this happens at clubs. You are a great club. You can't play everybody. We see it all the time on the men's side. Chelsea goes through it, right? You have great players on the bench. Like, you did not mention, I don't think you mentioned Katarina Macario, right? She's amazing.
Yeah.
And she's probably not going to start. Like, it's just the way it goes. And nobody's upset about it. It just happens. So, would I love to see her whipping a ball from the right to Bunny? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I think if him doesn't play, you go for Gino on the right, Fowler on the left. Now, Chloe Kelly super sub, yes. I can see that as an option. Because she hasn't shown that, like, Gareth has not trusted her to play 90 minutes in a meaningful match.
He's barely trusted to play 25.
Exactly. So I don't just all of a sudden see that changing for Chelsea, right? Um, I think your starting 11 spot on. It really is just like it comes down to Bunny Shaw, be the best striker in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and that's who she is. That's what she's done, and I fully expect her to come through for us with at least a goal contribution, and because that's the norm. Like I expect these things.
Yeah, man. Bunny, she showed against Barca. It's just you can be a world class team, but there's nobody like Bunny Shaw. And if she plays her football, she is equal parts technical, physical, fast. Like she can just really surprise you in how the ball just stays at her feet no matter how people are pushing, pulling, and tugging on her. I love it so much. And I will say, after years of us all screaming, protect Bunny, it finally seems like the refs are kind of doing it this season. So, like, thank you. It took some time, but
Will
you've
they
made.
still hear our screams on Blue Sky, or are those only reserved for X? Like I hope they still get the
I know,
screams.
right?
Yeah, I'm like, damn.
Hopefully, the moderators are
Yeah,
they're getting there.
pay
Getting
attention.
the game. Okay. All right. Now here we'll get out of here with this score predictions.
I'm gonna say you got it.
No, you go.
Okay, I'm gonna say 2-2. I think this ends in a draw.
Yeah. Honestly, that's how I'm feeling. I would love to say we win. It wouldn't surprise me if we win.
Mm-hmm.
But something just says a draw. But I'm trying to think what version of this draw would I feel better about? If we fall behind and then catch up to a draw, or if we get ahead and give away the goals. I lied. Obviously, it's if we fall behind and we score the goals, then it's like, okay, we do have that dog. We can fight against adversity. This is the team that we thought they were. Good. Because I do not want to see us giving. What I've seen specifically this year in the growth in the squad, in Garrett's tactics, is how smooth we are in our possession, how we hold the ball, how we just ping the ball around, and it just kind of feels like it's practice. And that defeats players when they're just kind of pinging the ball around. La 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 la. I love that. So if we're able to do that against Chelsea, that's how I know we can make an actual run in UWCL. Beating Barca in the group stage, sure, that is the one that has me watching. But now here's a match against Chelsea. So this match, if we win, and it's I don't care if it's a 1, we win by 1, we snatch a regular goal. If we win, I'm saying bro, you aren't gonna want to hear me. I'm hopping in the 12 next week.
5-a-side in the 12.
I'm being like Bill Simmons because he'll do that. He'll just throw himself on the people's podcast in the Ringer Network, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna show up and be like, I want to talk for 5 minutes. Please stop.
I mean, it's your network. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be super negative because I don't want to get my hopes up. I think Chelsea nick a 1-0 win.
See, I think this is a can't lose for City, because we mentioned before that that game in hand that Chelsea have. If so, after this match, City don't play another league match until December 8th, right? Because next weekend is League Cup. So, but next weekend is when Chelsea make up that match versus Man U. Man U have been kind of tailing off, and I feel like they are. Exactly. I think that they're going to be ripe for a beating. So, if Chelsea win this match and then take care of business versus Man U, you could be down 5 points the next time you play a league match. So I think that. What was that?
I think we did some weird feedback. You good?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think that there will be a point in this match where Taylor will be like, okay, let's see this out and get out of here with a point.
Yeah, but you got to get the goal, and
Yeah.
that's why I'm interested to see. Like, is it you always want the early goal? It's just a matter of like if you expose yourself too much against your Chelsea side, that counter will kill you. Like as much as we talked about Bunny, I don't think we've given Maya Ramirez enough talk. She's a battering ram herself. Like that woman can do very impressive things on the pitch. So I think our center backs are not nearly as good as a pair. Especially if Kennedy's out there, if it's Kennedy and Greenwood, Maya Ramirez has a clear advantage. If Alexandria's out there, Alexandria has pace, but then Myra's bigger than both of them. Whereas you all have the size to at least make Bunny work. So that's why I literally think it's just 1-0. I don't think it's a blowout. I think we get chances. I just think it's a tight match, and losing 1-0 on the road isn't the worst result in the world.
That's right.
Now, would I want the win? Of course I want it, but I got to be, and I think the men have taught me this, right? Like, you're not going to win every match. So stop saying you're going to win every match. Eventually, you got to say, like, this is a match where we could drop points. And I think this is the one. And I hope it's only 2 points and not 3. Because at least we can think about reverse fixture and try to get back. But, that's way down the road. So we'll see what happens in about 17 hours.
My mom is in town, and she was like, I'm gonna come over for breakfast. I'll make waffles and all this. And I was, of course, Mom, thank you. I appreciate all this. But when City Women play, you're gonna sit down and you're gonna watch this match with me. All right.
This 2 hours is black. There's nothing else happening. It's black.
You can go kick it with some friends or something for a couple hours, I guess. I could come to you. I mean, you can kick it with me. I'll teach you everything. Like, and she'll just hang out with me. She's
That's awesome.
Like moms, they just want to hang out with their kids.
Exactly.
Mama Crunk is the best. This woman is
Mama
a saint.
Crunk is the best. Yes. So, yeah, I'm just. I mean, also, this could be the Manhattans talking. I could wake up and then all of a sudden start just being like,
I know you're going to freak out in the morning. I know you're going to freak out. This is definitely the Manhattan and casserole calm. That Manhattan casserole combo has got you really mellow right now. But let this man wake up at 6 a.m. Central, and it's going to be 5 hours of stress. And I know it's coming. I can't wait to follow the Blue Sky feed. I'm excited.
Oh, man. All right. Well, please, Mark, plug yourself. Let people know where they can find you and the things you do before we get out of here.
Yeah, so definitely check us out on the 12 WSL podcast on the Shades of Blue Network. We record once a week. You can also find me on Atlanta United Fan TV. We just had massive win over Messi and Inter Miami.
Oh,
that was a lot of fun. And so,
that's right.
The men are on break. So next week they'll be playing Orlando. But yeah, check me out over there. And soon, potentially, check me out on Blue Sky.
Ooh, I like that. Coming soon. We'll be sure to broadcast when he comes over. Great follow over on the other app we don't use anymore. But yeah, thank you so much for coming, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me, and always enjoy chopping it up with y'all.
Yes. All right. You can catch us tomorrow, an hour before kickoff. We will be here on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch, doing a kickoff show where we will look at the starting 11, give our thoughts, see how we think the match is going to go, and I might completely change my mind. I'm saying a draw. I'm agreeing with Mark, 2-2 draw. That'd be great. Pinning the lineup, I might go crazy, or I might just be rocking in my chair. We'll see. You never know, right?
You're gonna be rocking.
You're gonna be rocking hard. Big time rocking.
Yes, right. Okay, well, we'll see you all tomorrow. You know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.